Derivatives trading involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results.
So stressful when the world's on fire. Good God. I can't look at this, guys. Like, my strategy is you buy it and you hope that you got a good spot. Yeah, but we all think you're crazy. You don't fight this. No way. The markets are freaking out and you don't think that anything is wrong? Come back tomorrow and I'll lose it all. Should be fine.
Good morning, everybody. Hold on. There we go. Spotify don't want to play on my computer. Still thinks it's on my phone. Guys, we got a big week with this CPI coming, and I'm reading a lot of stuff. Of course, it's all from Zero Hedge, but some analyst reports all kind of hinting in the direction of a softer CPI. So this could be the point at which, like, the market kind of turns around. If not, hey, stock market's been doing pretty well this year, actually. But like in terms of sentiment and things like that, maybe things turn around here. So let's come and look at how the markets reacted over the weekend. Pull up our volume profile here. Okay, so on Friday we had a fairly bearish session. And maybe a little bit of overnight, but it's pretty quiet over in the treasuries, I would say, over the weekend. ES is looking to recover that 52, like what? 50, 60? Yes, 52.60 from Friday. Looking pretty good overnight over there. Oil took a tumble on Friday, but it's coming back up. Gold and silver kind of turning back down here. I'm a little concerned that rise there could retrace. Like actually I don't know if the CPI is light or lower than expected, then I don't think that the gold and silver would necessarily sell off, but I think that they would kind of lose their luster a little bit. So let me keep an eye on them, okay? Copper's looking pretty good, though. Copper might still be the place to be. I don't know. How high could copper get? Japanese yen. Well, I was hearing all this stuff about, like, movement and so, but it looks like just a teeny tiny little blip, relatively speaking, and the yen still kind of looks like it's been left, on the pavement bleeding. It's just, it's going nowhere now. And the dollar has pushed down below 105 here this morning. See if they can break out of this range finally. And the Bitcoin a little bit of back and forth, but still at 6,300. You know what? I'm still thinking, oh my gosh, is the heater on in here? It's super hot. I'm still thinking that Bitcoin looks like it has also been left for dead. Like, they're not doing anything. Like, it's just waiting for somebody new to come in, and like the new buyers aren't coming. The new money's not coming into Bitcoin. I would expect with the halving and all of that eventually it should become worth more, but right now it's just not happening. It might not happen for a long time. All right, so good morning, Octavius, Jake, A. Paul, Rob. Love having you guys here right at the very beginning. Let's see here. That's interesting. There is a 7K iceberg on the bid at 27. Even though the action over, before the session and since the open has been a little lackluster, there is something going on out there, and it looks like it's a buy. I'm going to check to see if my furnace is on, because all of a sudden it's really hot in here. I don't know. It seems hot in here, but it's not. I don't got anything on. I don't know what the deal is. Okay. It could. Maybe I need to change my thermostat. Maybe we're far enough in that I can just turn the heater completely off and go only to AC and turn the AC down. Ethereum ETF. Oh, I don't know about that. So I think there's a lot more trouble with getting an Ethereum ETF, right? I haven't actually even seen any kind of even rumblings about that, to be honest with you. It looks like it's shaping up to be a Snorfest. I mean, it does. I don't know, man. What is with this? Explain that. That's a little unexpected. And look, they ticked up. Granted, there's 5K on the offer now that they'll have to push through, but I don't know, man. Like, I totally get what you're saying. Like, I would think, hey, this is a Snorfest. I don't know if I want to trade today. If not for that iceberg at 27. So, but the overnight is definitely, yeah. Only, is it really 10 ticks? Yeah, okay. Yeah, the overnight range is particularly tight for some reason. They're making problems because of staking. Well, it's not just that. So, like, here's the thing, is if I go and I make my own coin and, you know, I just put it out there and it's widely used as a currency, okay? Like the usage as a currency, then is it a quote-unquote security? Well, I'm going to say no. Because the whole thing about a security is that it's an investment of money with the expectation of profit solely from the effort of other people. You see that? Look at that. Holy crap. Dude. I'm hoping by making that call publicly I'm wrong. Dude, when was the last time that a single bid iceberg alone predicted a big run like that? That's a little wild to me. Okay. So Bitcoin, is there an expectation of profit solely from the efforts of other people? No, there's not. Okay. So then you get to like all of these initial coin offerings, right? Like, remember we had Ethereum and people were minting coins on the Ethereum chain, right? Like making companies and so forth. So now you have an investment of money with an expectation of profit solely based on the efforts of other people. Well, then it's kind of fuzzy. It's kind of fuzzy there, right? Because it's supposedly, the coin is just supposed to like become more popular as that company or group does better. So it's kind of more of a speculation on that company than it is like ownership in that company. It's not like stocks. So is it really a security? Not really. But here's the thing. Here's what I would say. I would say with the spirit of the law that it is. The spirit of the law that it is. Because you're in the whole reason that we have this law is so that you know who you're investing in. Like there's these very high standards for disclosure about the people involved in the project and so forth if you're going to buy a company, right? So that investors are protected. So when you're making an initial coin offering, I think within the spirit of the law, they should be considered securities. And so far, that's kind of what's happened. And that was where we had this whole thing where they went back and they said, hey, like people were scamming with these initial coin offerings, and they put a stop to that. Okay, so is that Ethereum? Well, the thing is that I would kind of argue that the Ethereum project is kind of the same thing, but I mean, it's kind of not, because it's way more general. It's way more of a currency, kind of like Bitcoin. I mean, it's the number two. It always has been, right? But, so I think that getting an Ethereum ETF is a little bit more difficult than getting a Bitcoin ETF, especially since they didn't want to do the Bitcoin ETF in the first place, right? So, but you know what? More broadly, I don't know if I care if there is an ETF or not, because look at what the ETF for Bitcoin has done. Like, there was the run up going into the ETF, sure. But since then, like, the interest is just not there. Like, there's a larger problem, I think, in the cryptocurrency space, which is that the public at large doesn't want anything to do with it anymore. The FTX thing in particular, I think, really killed the public's appetite for that kind of speculation, especially in this kind of interest rate environment and everything else. Like, hey, if they're able to bring interest rates back down a good clip and the economy normalizes, I mean, it's going to take a long time for us to go from this, man. The housing market is so jacked up right now. It's so messed up. Really, like, the cost of housing is really, like, quite crazy. Something's has to give somewhere. But like money's just so tight. I just don't see people making that kind of a speculative bet right now. Right. So that's a bigger problem with Bitcoin. So after that little bit of, I would almost say explosion higher, because I mean, really, it went 4 ticks. I guess it was like 2 minutes. I guess it was 2 or 3 minutes that it took for it to do it, but it did do it pretty quick. Now it's been pretty quiet. I kind of suspect that the bid is still there, but I'm not seeing enough volume go into it to be able to find out. A reporter asks, can we explain to Californians how we moved from 100 billion surplus to such a significant deficit in just a few years? Yeah, because they were lying about the surplus the whole time. And everybody said that that's what was going to happen, but the news media not really reporting it. That's what happened. Leandro, good morning. How are you doing? Everything working good for you? Is it Trump into crypto? I don't think he has a clue what it is. I don't think, he sees opportunity for him to make a little bit more money. So why not? That said, does kind of sound to me like a Republican administration would be more favorable to Bitcoin. It's one of those things that irks me is when I see Jordan Peterson. Jordan Peterson's been all in on the Bitcoin thing ever since that issue in Canada where they were basically, cutting people off from the financial system because they were in the protests. That was messed up. That still bothers me. I think the answer is that they shouldn't be able to cut you off from the banking system. Not, we need to move to a banking system that is Wild West. It's just, I don't think that Bitcoin is good for society. And it would be absolutely awful for society if it became the primary, what would we say? Primary means of transactions. If Bitcoin became like the primary engine of the economy, that would last maybe 5 years and then it would collapse. Well, E-mini so far looking pretty good. They did touch the 5260. Oh, wait, what? GameStop's Roaring Kitty returns and Shen's shares skyrocketing? Nah, really? Wait, I didn't know that he ever left Twitter. Not that he's posted anything interesting. Just a picture of a GIF of somebody. Oh, it's not even a GIF. It's just a JPEG of a guy sitting up in his chair. Like, oh, now I'm interested. Is it really up? Let's go look. What will happen if he made... Didn't he make him an NFT? I don't know. I would... You know what? I'm not going to buy it. Can't even freaking remember the ticker symbol for GameStop. Okay. Well, I don't know. GameStop has been on a little bit of meh. I don't know about that one, guys. Especially since they got hammered so hard since earnings and now they're jumping up. I don't know what they think would be pushing that out, but look at the overnight. Oh my, 25 there to 25. Okay, so that puts them up here. Holy crap. A jump like that is significant. That's gonna put it on people's radars for sure. Shall we head over to Wall Street Bets and see what they're saying? May already be too late to take advantage of it. Okay, here's his... We're going to remove most GameStop and Wall Street Bets posts that aren't major happenings like this. Okay. Please. Going for another 2K MBO offers, I guess. I mean, it looks like that they could continue. I would expect, you know, we didn't go and do this. Hold on. The 10. Okay. Move this over here. Oh. Okay, so some flows that we got today. New York Fed inflation expectations. 11 o'clock Eastern time. 3 and 6 month bill auctions. Okay. Monday flows tend to be light. But strong trends can start on Mondays. And we got CPI on Wednesday. CPI is expected to be soft. Oh, we also have, I almost missed it here. Mester and Jefferson speak. That's at 9 o'clock Eastern time. So that will be at the top of the hour here in about 5 minutes. Okay. So with the CPI expecting to be soft, I am favoring longs if trend gets started. Okay. That may have been what happened at between 27 and 29. I don't know if I want to buy 29 though. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. So they could eat away these offers for sure. Okay, we're coming back over here and read what's going on with GameStop. I should put a question mark because I'm not sure if that's why it's up, but it does kind of seem to me like that's what's going on. I'm not really very interested in the stock itself. So like people are still kind of stuck in this like mother of all shorts sort of a thing. Man, if there are shorts on there and they're not out by now. Can you even imagine? I think that you're probably more likely to get a bunch of retail traders, you know, all long in a position and stuck. Let's see. Need a position update and this shit's gonna blow. I'll blow you if that happens. Good. Good. People. You think that he's still long? Should I just say GME GameStop like that? I won't even say that it's about DF. It's just up huge overnight, yeah? I've got 100K and I'm ready. Please don't. Just give that money to me. I'll lose it slower. Just give it to me. Going balls deep on calls. Dude, we're going to have to watch this when it opens. We're going to have to pay real close attention. So let's open it up. Because it's probably going to be bonkers when it opens up, huh? I tried to tell you guys last week. Something's going on because there's a lot of money going into it. Okay, so we're supposed to get text from Mester and Jefferson here, right? What do you think it will do in real trading hours? I don't know, but every news outlet is going to cover it. Yeah. Just the comments. Apparently, Jefferson's not speaking on economic policy or the outlook. But he is commenting on that the public tends to misinterpret what the Fed is saying. Mortimer, we're back. I don't know what I was expecting coming in and reading the comments. It's just memes and stuff. Not any real, like... Mods would like all of the NVIDIA conversation to go to the NVIDIA sub, please. Oh my gosh. You know, it would be such a hard thing to be moderating that subreddit. Because it really is like, if you didn't moderate it, all anybody would post about would be like their certain meme stocks. And it would ruin the sub. But then you get a situation like this where it's like, it's the thing that's going to be all anybody wants to post about now. Is this because deep fucking value is back? Or is deep fucking value back because of this? It's a chicken and egg. Who knows? I guess he's got to be careful because you know, I don't think that he's done any manipulation now, but if you say something, like if you come in and you say, I think that GameStop is going to go to the moon or whatever, you better be telling people your position and everything. The 8K iceberg at 29 now. Okay, so if a 7K iceberg at 27 is going to push us up, is an 8K iceberg at 29 going to cause us to flip back down? I don't know. Seems kind of weird to me that we're getting icebergs that big in this situation. Yeah, but probably is retail traders like overpaying on Robinhood. That's kind of what this is insinuating. I could totally see that. Hello, FX. Welcome back. It's already shaping up to be an interesting Monday. Not enough for me to take a trade in the treasuries here, but we got stuff going. We got things to think about. That's that thread. I wonder if the reason why I think it's hot in here is because of my lights. Turn them up a little bit higher. Could totally be that. Oh yeah, somebody had a question about platforms for simulations. I should go, we should answer that one. Let's go to AMP Futures. AMP Futures, and then they have like, what is it? Trading info, maybe? Looks like they've kind of changed their website a little bit. You do AMP data fees. So I mean, I know it's like $30 to $50, but monthly exchange market data fees. There you go. It's really $40 now. No pullback to get in. Hope it doesn't run to evens. Yeah, I am kind of feeling that. Well, you know, I don't think that I need a pullback necessarily to get in. It would be better. But like if there was a pullback, I would kind of be like, well, maybe it's over. So I could totally buy it here, but it doesn't look like it's going to do that. It looks like it came up here to this spot and then turned into a liquidity hole again. So, I don't know. Maybe, when did that happen? I don't know. Could maybe come through before the S&P 500 opens and have another push up. If it does, well, so I guess if I don't want to miss it, I could over here. I'll do it on the, you know, something like that. Stop in if it happens. So I never read the zero hedge story on GameStop. Today's squeeze has anyone shorting the stock panicking. They are also left in disbelief that one tweet from a meme trader can spark so much volatility. This adds to the 57% monthly gains already recorded as of Friday's close. Well, so one, it was already kind of on a run, and I don't know why. And short covering can definitely send something pretty far, and there probably are a lot of shorts out there. It still is kind of weird that it's just like one guy like posting on Twitter causes GameStop to be up 38%. Okay, that seems a little silly, but if people with money are willing to put money into the market, especially in a very illiquid overnight market, it's going to move the stock. It's a lot easier to move a stock than people think. It really is. After meme stocks and other profitless companies have been dormant since the 2022 collapse, primarily because of tightening financial conditions surrounding Fed Powell's rate hiking cycle, the one big question we ask, are the meme stocks back? It's unlikely, given that rates are higher for longer mode. However, a cutting cycle will open some sort of revival. That's Zero Hedge's comment on it. Now they finally have a story on Zero Hedge about Apple reportedly near deal to infuse ChatGPT into iPhones. Have fun with that. Maybe I should open the window. This is just hot in here. Infusing the AI thing you can still just use on their website? Well, I think that what they would do is they would, take some of the endpoints with Siri and train it to be able to do so that, you talk to it and it does things for you and would have access to perform certain actions on your phone, like call somebody if you tell it to or something like that. But who knows? Who knows? It does. It sure does have kind of a feeling of they just hit all of the right buzzwords so that the stock market goes crazy, right? Oh, so make something. I tell you what, I am not so enamored with the AI. I mean, granted, I am kind of doing something that will transcribe all of our live streams and stuff, but this mania, frankly, that's going on in the stock market, I'm just not, especially in the tech sector. Like everybody's saying, because of ChatGPT, the number of jobs in tech is going to go down substantially and all of these sorts of things. I was just like, who do you think is going to write all of the AIs? You know what it does? It does transcribe the live streams. I might be able to access those, but I want to do it live. I don't think it does it live. Let me check the window. It's probably cool outside. I opened the window and that might make it a little better. I think it's because of the light, but I like the light the way that it is. I'm not going to touch it. It's still fairly cool outside, like in the 60s. So it might have fun replies now instead of searching the internet for you. Yeah. Like I said, I think one of the things that would be more interesting to do is to try and turn ChatGPT into something that was live, right? Like right now, you send it something and then it gives you a response. So how do you have it read the data live as it's coming in and decide when to interrupt you or when you're finished and stuff like that? Because I think you could train an AI to do that, yeah, and that would be another layer on top of that. I think that'd be really interesting. It's not that AI isn't cool and has potential and whatnot. It just seems like it ain't got much of a purpose in our consumer lives. Let's package this into a little widget bar you can type into on your phone. Oh, like that Google widget? No, nothing like that. No, I bet you that they would integrate it with Siri, right? They would make Apple's own GPT, train their own GPT based on GPT-4 for Siri and integrate it into Siri, something like that. Just to make Siri better, I guess. Yeah, so you can make phone calls and grocery lists. Pretty much. The issue I have with this is I don't see how this increases the amount of business and sales that Apple gets. I think their problems lie elsewhere right now, yeah? But they ain't gonna fight that flow, man. You use the magic words, the market's just gonna come in, right? Let's make sure we keep that up. We won't cover up the dollar. Has pulled back slightly. It's like .com in the 90s and blockchain in 2017. I think it is, yeah. Like in the long run, AI could have really significant impacts on our lives for sure. I'm not convinced that AI is gonna replace thinking though, right? I think that people are lazy. They think, the machines can do the work, and I just don't think that it's gonna do everything. An AI could make a developer more productive depending on how you use it. But like I tell you what, for instance, here's what you don't use AI for. Is you don't use AI to think for you. Like if I have a specific question about something, like a piece of code, I don't think anybody's ever encountered this problem before, except the AI is not going to figure it out, right? Because the AI is just taking existing data and remixing it and so forth, right? So like I might ask an AI a question that I would normally go to Stack Overflow for, but and I might ask an AI to like generate something, you know, like if it's something that's like really big and it would take me a long time to write it, but I know that it's all pretty easy templated code, then I might have the GPT do it, right? But when it comes to like leveraging expertise and, you know, writing things in the most excellent way and all that, I don't trust the AI. Why do you not trade oil? I love oil because oil is terrifying, dude. You're crazy. Y'all that trade oil, you're crazy. You're talking about something that'll move $5,000 in a day on you, or $500 in a day on you if you're trading the micro oil futures. It's just, and it's really its own beast. Like it's its own market with its own kind of news and interpretations that I don't understand. I've lost some money on oil before. And if it wasn't for NQ, we would call oil the Widowmaker. Oil will destroy you. I still think that AI is nowhere even near the thing that people want and are afraid of about AI. Our current AI is just Google with a couple of extra steps. I think that it's more than just Google, though. So, like, I don't think the AI is very good at generating code, right? Like, if I ask it to generate code, the chances of that code actually running and compiling and do what I want are pretty low. But if I ask it to write me an article about a certain subject, it does a really, really good job. And I have been using the AI to like improve my scripts. I will tell it like, okay, this is what I'm writing about, like make it more engaging for YouTube, or I'll put my already existing script and tell it, make this more engaging. And then it will tell me like, okay, you do this makes it more engaging because of this. And it freaking works. Like, actually, let's go and look at our most recent video and I'll show you. I'll show you where I used this. So I wrote my whole article first, and then I put it into GPT and went through it sentence by sentence and optimized it sentence by sentence. So the AI didn't write it. I definitely wrote it. Every single sentence was mine, but the GPT advised me significantly. And it's not the first video I've done this on either, but I would say it's the best. Wait, which one? Where are we going? There we are. Okay, so here's my video.
Think you've got momentum trading all figured out? You might want to think again. See,
That was to GPT. Okay, like my intro was not this attention getting thing at all. First 5
momentum
seconds.
might be the trading world's favorite buzzword, but it's also the most misunderstood. Whenever the word momentum gets thrown around in trading circles, it's easy to think, oh, I know what that word means, but what if I told you there's more beneath the surface? Well, stick around, because we're unlocking the strategies used by some of the most successful traders of all time, grasping the true essence of how.
Okay, so that's the first 30 seconds. And at the first 30 seconds, my retention is over 60%. That's good. That is like above average retention. It's typically, I'm thinking if I can get a video more than 60% in the first 30 seconds, that's one of the key things. I don't know if my thumbnail is good enough. Like when I look at the reach, impressions, click-through rate, well, it actually says that it has a pretty high click-through rate. Not on Saturday for some reason. I don't know what that's about. But it used to be if I can get 60% retention for the first 30 seconds and the click-through rate above 5%, if you can get it above 10%, then that's really, really good. Then YouTube will start pushing the video and you'll start getting a lot of views.
Made a lot of progress, and that inflation treated.
It's only got 403 views, so it's not. It's probably because it's a keyword that YouTube is not necessarily pushing a lot of people
that the labor
towards,
market has been very resilient.
Oh, dude, I haven't been paying attention. My limit order, it did get triggered, but they didn't fill it. That sucks.
Jefferson's
I'll leave it.
inflation has come down substantially from its peaks, saying that I view the.
If you're a beginner, I think that you should trade the 10-year treasury. You'll learn more from trading the 10-year treasury than from anything else. Holy. You see that stack at 31?
Fed Jefferson says inflation is a source of concern.
I believe that in 20 years we might have AGI,
attenuated,
and efficient quantum computing, and then we'll have a real power and artificial intelligence, but it'll take a lot of time and money.
The U.S. economy is in a solid position.
I don't know what's going on in Cian Allion, but there's definitely a bit in it.
Even more so on inflation, given broader strength.
You know, we've kind of been on it this whole time. I just haven't been able to find a spot that I liked, but you can see we've got highly autocorrelated volume long here.
Restrictive territory.
And then it's kind of like, it's very much stop and go over here, right? Like this started with an iceberg at 27 and then it went up 4 ticks. And then we were waiting, or kind of like, I don't know if I really want to buy 29, but let's, if it breaks up, I'll put my order in there. They blew through that without filling me. When now it did go to 109. 109 is going to kind of be a key benchmark place, right? Big round number. There's going to be a lot of liquidity there, or probably trade sponge there. Here's what I think it is. We've got a CPI on Wednesday, and all of the analyst reports are starting to suggest that the CPI is going to be weak.
Jefferson adds that it is appropriate to keep the
which means
restrictive until it's clear that
we had a pretty bad jobs report, and then we get CPI showing inflation is coming down. I think that there might be a little caveat on here because the shelter component is going to come down. But that shelter component is set to reaccelerate in the future. Like around the time that we're having the election, you're probably going to see that reaccelerate. Okay. But what about the core components? Are we still seeing a lot of inflation in core components? So that might kind of spoil the party a little bit. But overall, what we're seeing suggests that the CPI report will be weak. And so I think that some people are coming in and taking bets on that. And I think that that may be the flow that's driving this morning. Because that's when I came in here, I was kind of like, okay, we just keep an eye out for that and see if it happens. And when I saw that 7K, that's what I was like, well, you know, I would expect today to be quiet, except for that there was that iceberg there. And then, by the way, remember I was saying, okay, so if there's a bid iceberg down here and it moved up, does that mean that when you have an offer iceberg up here, that that's going to push it down? No, it didn't. They just ate through it, right? You can't trust those icebergs, man. But if I have an idea of which way it's going to go based on a flow that I'm anticipating, then seeing those icebergs kind of are useful. I know that, like, they're trading it. It's a Monday, they're trading it. Anyway, so on the robots thing. What's happening here is that having a robot that can give real convincing responses that are completely generated on its own is such a huge leap that, you know, our anticipation based on, you know, the way that technology tends to go and everything is like, oh, well, we're just going to continue to move at an accelerated pace, and that means that we'll have artificial general intelligence really soon. I think that the issue is that like, if I were to draw a picture and like say this is the trajectory and like you are here, right? We are here. Okay. And so people say, I need to go bigger. People will say, okay, so we're going up like this, and then this is AGI right here. AGI. I think that AGI is like way off the screen here. Like, I think that AGI is such a huge advancement over what we have today. It's going to be a very, very, very long time before we have AGI. And I'm talking like maybe even 100 years. No joke. If we have AGI, oh, look at that, I got filled. Interesting. I don't know how I feel about that, because I don't like I get filled and then there's full stack on top of me, but we will try and pull a tick out of it again. Anyways, so I just, you know, maybe I draw it again. Okay. Right. And we're like right here, and people think that AGI is here, and it's actually up here. Right. And when you look at the time frame, this is actually like 100 years from now. Right. I think it's way further off than we realize. What we will see is we'll see the cost for a lot of things come down.
So we're looking now to the market on open.
The bottleneck is still housing,
to the buy side.
Right? Okay, if you get to the point where artificial intelligence is helping you build houses faster, then we actually have a measurable change in quality of living. Because if you can build houses for 1/10 of the cost,
Feds Jefferson says the dot plot is.
We might need efficient quantum computing to even have AGI. That might be true. Because there's all of that speculation that our minds actually access or utilize quantum mechanics in some way to do thinking. Because we can't explain how brain cells do things. They just do it. We don't know why. And so that's where the speculation that it's quantum comes from. Okay, so on the first minute, GameStop has declined by over $1. I don't think that it's hit a stop yet, though. Let's see here. $7, $13, and 20%. So if we just say it's at 26. So if we say it's at 26 times 0.07. So basically, once we start to move more than $2, then we're in. Okay, so they haven't moved enough. Then we're in halt zone. You are short 300. Oh, you're short 30. You should put like the little should put like a little apostrophe so that we know that you're talking about yields. You can't access E-Trade right now? Oh, I bet you all of the retail trading platforms are just being overwhelmed. I don't know, man. That initial price action in GameStop looks awfully bearish. Not that it predicts what's going to happen in the future very well, but something that I would be concerned about here is that they drove up these prices in the overnight market, and you're going to see a lot of profit taking and or people looking to go short. Like it, from here it depends on what the orders are. And is the number of people that are going to be looking to short this greater than the number of buys in the overnight? Probably. But it's a thicker market. Okay, well, they sliced through us there. I am still seeing a decent flow both ways. I could try holding on up to this. Actually, probably should just try and scratch it at -1. Don't want it to turn into a bigger loser than that. I'll pull these trading halts down in here. Okay, it filled me there. If we touch 30 half now after that, then that means I did the wrong thing, but it's okay. Oh, it's going back up again. Wait, did it just get halt? No, okay. I was like, did they just halt it? You know what? We could watch it from this side. Let's see if I can pull this up. What? I have to download the new version? Boo. ETD is 25,000. What are you talking about?
So just in equities here, just noting GameStop triggering a circuit breaker with shares up 54%. Let's ticker GME.
Did they just? Oh, they did.
As
I
we
took
began
I took
earlier,
it away
seems
for
to be
a
news
split
catalyst for this
second.
particular move in GameStop.
Took it away for a
That
split
nonetheless.
second and missed
Again,
it. There it
GameStop,
is, right there. They
halted at
did halt it.
54% up.
I can't believe this. This is so crazy. It's almost like they let it fall down here so that they could smash it up and hit the circuit breaker. Do you think? Now I'm curious. I forgot about Reddit. Yo, we haven't looked at that one in a while. How are they doing since their IPO? And it's actually, I mean, that's a big jump. So is Reddit benefiting from the GameStop thing too? So I don't know if this is necessarily a good thing for Reddit. I don't know, man. That's an interesting one. Okay, let's see here. I want I forget how to find it within Fidelity. Give me a bit. Time and sales, is that it right there? And let's pull this down here. Oops. You know what? If I was if I was deep fucking value, the thing that would be going through my head, not that I'm deep, probably not what would be, probably not like what's going through his, but like if my mind was teleported into his mind or whatever, right? I would be thinking, don't let the ego get the best of you. Okay, here it goes again. Okay, that is not showing it to me. Maybe just quote. Good freaking grief. Look at the way this thing is trading. That's insane. I wish I could. Now would be a really good time to go and buy the level 2 data from our friends over at what are their names? I can't even remember now. But just watching the book on this has got to be like something.
Following the circuit breaker resume.
They're gonna hit the circuit breaker again, aren't they? Okay, a little bit of a sell there.
Also noting the S&P 500's paired gain since the open here, still up around spot 2%.
There it got halted again. My gosh. This is nuts. I just want to tell those a-holes, hey, I'm not trying to trade GameStop. Please let me in. This is why you should be using Fidelity, man. Okay, A-Paul, what's the buzz with GameStop? The guy that kind of initially started the whole GameStop thing was a guy named Deep Fucking Value, who was kind of like had a YouTube stream, kind of not unlike ours, except for, you know, stocks and whatnot. And he was a, you know, really into GameStop. He bought GameStop. He thought it was undervalued. And then when it took off, he made tons and tons and tons of money from it, right? And then he kind of disappeared. And last night, his Twitter account became active again. Now, GameStop has been on a run over the last week. I don't know what, before today, what people were attributing it to. But essentially, people are buying GameStop because he's back, is my reading of it. This is legit the only time it's ever happened. Morgan Stanley owns E-Trade now, so maybe they're a little bit more shitty about it. Yeah, it happens to everyone. You know, I've never had any problems with Fidelity, but I'm sure it's going to happen at some point, right? When I worked for the bank, our like threshold or like our goal was the system needs to be able to handle double what the previous high in activity was. And sometimes that was not enough, you know? So like, this is going to happen to everybody at some point. So, GameStop up 68% over one guy tweeting a picture of somebody sitting up in their chair. Yeah. Obsidian futures, I haven't been around in a while. Oh no, you were here last week. Obsidian, I mean, you missed like 2 days. And you haven't been around for a while. Yeah, means you're dedicated, right? That's the way we are. I can't miss a day, man. I mean, I'll go on vacation. At some point, we're gonna go on vacation this summer. Take a whole week off. Won't even stream. Gonna happen. So I'm noticing over the last 10 minutes or so, that the Japanese yen is falling a little bit here. Might be some IV plays for this guy. Good luck with that, friend. I am not playing that game. Can you imagine like coming in on Friday and being like, "Oh man, like look at this, the GameStop is like so overbought here. I'm gonna sell some volatility here. I'm gonna sell some calls."
So shortly expect.
And then coming into the market
sales
this
results.
morning, oh my gosh. The entire market's, what a joke the market's got to be if one guy can make a tweet and lock people out of the retail market. It is, dude. This is the whole thing I've been trying to say from the beginning, and I know that you get it, but like you can get it and not get it. You know what I mean? It's like it's not until you see this sort of a thing that then it really cements in your mind like orders have a significant impact on price. And okay, so here's going again. Oh my gosh, they're just gonna pump this as far as they can, aren't they? Isn't it like third halt and then they stop it for the day? They're probably just gonna stop it. Oh no, wait, maybe it's coming down. Looks like they ran into a bump in the road. I was gonna say it kind of stopped there for a second. I think it had just hit an iceberg. It's still trading pretty heavy now. Do I like this one or that one? It looks like this is fine. I wish there was a way for me to make these times and sells just auto update.
So again, GameStop shares are extending gains up to 80% now following another resumption of trade. Not going to keep on this all day as there is no news catalyst behind it.
Okay, so it came down, so moving back up. Another iceberg at 3170, it looks like.
£799.9 million of bonds in auction, receiving £2.14 billion in bids. APF gilt sale operation cover ratio is 2.6.
Is 3170 limit up? Yeah, okay, now they just halted it again. My fidelity info was delayed slightly. That wouldn't surprise me. Trade halts. GameStop. Remind me of the rules. Isn't it like if it gets halted 3 times, they just stop it for the day? Do you ever try Euro? No, I don't. I don't get Euro exchange data. I'm not willing to pay extra for that. Oh yeah, there's. Is it really a 6 to 7 second
gains now?
delay?
S&P and Nasdaq around flat.
I have everything set up to try and keep it as live as possible. But... Oh, there's some settings in here that are new. Does your content make a real person say or do something they didn't do? Alter footage of a real place or event generates realistic scene that didn't actually occur? No, it does not. I'm gonna make sure I put that in there. I wonder if that carries over from day to day. Oh, I don't think you can see it on this page. Maybe they got rid of it. There used to be a thing where you could change, there was a little setting to make it like more live, I guess you could say, and I don't see that anymore. Yeah, so sometimes you're not actually live because it does like a playback. So make sure like there's a live button in the YouTube player and it will like have a little red light if you're actually live. And if you're not, you just click on that button and it will fast forward you to currently live. It should only be like 3 seconds. But I guess it's not a huge deal to me if it's more than that. Oh wait, it's right. Maybe it's right here. Stream settings. Yes. Yes. Ultra low latency. We do have ultra low latency. Does not support closed captions, 1440p and 4K resolution.
The Federal Reserve are to cut rates by 50 basis points this year. That's according to 65 of 108 economists in a poll. 17 say more than 50 basis points. 1 sees no cuts this year.
I have shopping too. I should turn the stopping on in the YouTube shop.
So looking into this then, the poll notes that the Federal Reserve are to
cut the Japanese yen is still falling here, man. Are they going to come all the way back to 27?
8 versus 54 of 100 seeing in the April poll.
Yeah, GameStop has not gone up again. I don't know how long is that. 49. So it's only been like 4 minutes. I mean, that should be at least a 10-minute halt. Probably they should just halt it for the day. I think that they probably will, right? I really do need to keep an eye on retail/Wall Street bets. You know what? I wasn't even really following it super hard this time, but I did get all of the info that it was happening. You know what though? We put it in our stream title and everything, and YouTube's not sending us more viewers. Maybe I need to put a hash in front of it. What if I put hash Jimmy? Let's see. Needs to be like somebody that's searching for Jimmy, sees the stream, comes over. Let's see if I'm gonna try and search if there's a better tool in here. Your channel is nice. Thank you, but you already told me that the first day you were here, Elion. Elion. That how we say it? Oh, you're quite happy. Well, thank you. From my perspective, we're just kind of sitting here and like having missed the move up and down, so I don't. But hopefully I'm still doing a good job of actually helping you understand how the market works. Yeah. One guy's tweet literally caused a $4 billion jump in a company's market cap, right? Dude, it's not even just that. Like, okay, well, this was the tweet. It's not just that one guy tweeting causes the stock to go up. That this was all he tweeted, was a picture of a guy that was leaning back and, you know, was slouching in his chair, and now all of a sudden he's on the front of his seat. That was all he posted. And GameStop is up. Can you believe that? It's absolutely crazy. But I'm just again, markets have a strong impact on price. And so yeah, all the retail traders coming out and buying it because it's up and a guy tweeted, 100% it can. Right? I want to destroy this illusion that people have. It needs to go. It's bad for society. This idea that like price is efficient and like unless the company is actually worth more, the stock price shouldn't move. That the prices should be an accurate reflection of like how much, and like the market cap. This is another side of it. It's like the market cap is an accurate reflection of how much a company is. It's not. You sell the company, it's not going to be worth that much. It's not at all. All the prices is a reflection of the orders that you're putting into it. And those orders have a super, super strong impact. And so if, you know, it doesn't take very much for retail traders to come in and create an imbalance and move the price. And they can move the price really, really far before that it stops them. Especially when you can do options. Maybe that's the way that I need to look at it. If I do like option, maybe just the option chain. Well, let's do the option statistics. Halted. Okay, where are they? Let's make this big for a second. Total volume. Wow. 3-to-1 call to put ratio. And which ones are they buying calls at? 40. 60. Wow. But those aren't even that huge of a trades. Oh, it's going again. It's going again. Wait, did it just go and immediately get halted? You gotta be kidding me. You gotta be kidding me, right? Oh my gosh. Yeah, it was a good. Actually, I think we're too late on the cost basis. We already touched and bounced that at 27.5. I tell you what, man. Since we've been watching this, it hasn't bounced there like maybe twice, and those were both situations where I was like, it shouldn't matter right now, right? Ugh. I think there's some edge in it. Maybe there is some edge in that indicator, and it's just that, you know, something as simple as trying to trade a return back to the line and a bounce isn't sophisticated enough, right? That there's no edge in a strategy like that, but there is an edge in the line. Or at least a statistical aberration in the line. Anyways, I digress. See, there's this quote page. And that's okay. Buy, sell, time of sales, chart, option chain, option analytics, news, set price alert, research. It just doesn't... It doesn't actually have a level 2 in it. Surely there is a level 2 somewhere. Fidelity Active Trader Pro Level 2. Oh, look right there. Where do I find level 2 data? The depth of book is found in the directed trade ticket under trade and orders. Trade and orders. Directed trade and extended hours. GME. Oh. Oh. So I'll close that. I hate it when it does that to me. I want to move this down to like right there. Cool. Now resize this window a little smaller. Nope, it always has to be that size. Okay, fine. But I do want, like, probably shouldn't need this whole thing right here. So it was halted at the top of the hour. You're finally in. So now what will you do? The treasuries seem to have settled on 29. I just want to oh, okay. Okay. Hey, me too. Let's monitor my portfolio. Where is it? Where is it? Oh, it's right here. Well, my gold is still like terrible. That's embarrassing that I still have that. This one I screwed up on. This one there was another offering and I didn't buy in, so I got washed out. Should have taken profits on that one. But the ones that matter, not bad. Not bad. I still have some cash. I should probably do something with that cash. Should probably do something with that cash. No, of course you don't care about GameStop, but it's just kind of like, I mean, if it's just your portfolio, what does it matter? Wait until the end of the day. Oh, look, I'm getting trade again. Oh, that's way better. That's way better. No, that's not what I wanted.
So oil prices extend gains with US crude.
Okay,
futures
so now
rising by
now
$1
it's
a
got
barrel. Session
was
high of
just
around
halted from limit down.
$79.28.
Just halted from limit down. So if I come back to the options chain here, all strikes. Let's just do May 17th. Oh, like only May 17th for now. Okay. Do they really not have any strikes higher than 34? No, because we saw some at 40, right? But maybe those are like maybe the June 21st ones or something like that. Yeah. Oh, totally. The halt, the whole halt thing is a total sham. We figured that out during COVID, right? It doesn't do anything at all to reduce the volatility. If anything, it increases volatility because market makers become more wary about getting stuck in a position. It goes limit up, limit down, whatever. So the whole halt experiment has been a dismal failure. I highly doubt that anybody in charge is actually going to do anything to change that. But it is what it is. I'm still waiting for we're gonna shut it down for the day. Because giving it a day to simmer that can help. And if they do that 2 days in a row, then it would definitely help. Well, meanwhile, hardly anything new on Zero Hedge. Be quiet over there. All because some guy posted this picture. Good grief. If I had that kind of power in the market that like just me posting about it caused the stock to go up, I would never tweet again. I would hate having that kind of an effect on the market. It would really drive me crazy, actually. Just like I wouldn't want people foolishly buying something just because I tweeted, you know? That just seems like a great way for a lot of people to do foolish things and lose money. Are they really up? It says 99%. Is that actually what it is? Wait, if I come over here. Yep, 99.71% on the day. So, yeah. When GameStop happened the first time, like I was kind of aware of it and was actually able to get in fairly early and play it, you know? And then I think it was like the next day we got out or something like that, right? I was just like, I knew that was a situation where there was probably even more people who were going to jump on board. Why did I feel like that then and not now? Now I kind of feel like this is stupid and this is going to, you know,
exports to
die
China
real
grew
quickly.
37.4% year on year.
Well, after that halt open, you know, they unfroze it and they sold it down pretty hard. We'll see what happens. I mean, this is crazy enough that it could really do anything, but that's that's gonna be a pretty big hit to confidence, right? Maybe I should change the chart here a little bit, and get rid of the volume and do like standard candlesticks with my colors blue and orange. Oh, that's terrible. Okay, actually what we're going to do is we're going to use hollow candlesticks, and up ones are going to be and down ones are going to be black. Oh, no, that doesn't work. There's a lot of things that I like about Fidelity, but they have the worst trading platform. I kind of want to work for them and just work on the trading platform. I don't get to pick my colors. Maybe there's somewhere else I can pick my colors. Okay, well, for now, green and red, it is. Oh, actually, it can do it like that. White and white. Okay, we'll do it like that for now. Did they halt again? Yes, they did. You say that, but there's what? You don't know that. Maybe somebody does have a massive short position and is covering it. Who knows? Sounds like rumor to me. I do wonder. I don't think that very many people were paying attention to this before, right? 20%'s nothing. Like before, it was like over 100%. I don't think I can actually change this. Oh, did I see more volume come through? No. It's not, I mean, anything over, you're right, anything over 10% is a lot, but the first time this happened, they were well over 100%. So to suggest that it's purely because of that this is happening because of the short is ridiculous. This is, so here's the thing. Okay, what causes securities to move? Orders. Orders do. That's the most basic, straightforward and frankly, explanatory answer as to explaining why the market moves the way that it does. Okay. So in order for us to understand why is the market moving the way that it is, we would have to understand why they are submitting the orders. Okay. So if there is somebody short and they are covering it right now, then that certainly could be something, you know, that would be a lot of orders, and that could be something that's moving the stock, right? But what I see is that this guy on Twitter came back and tweeted something, and all of the guys on Super Stonk and whatnot have decided that they're going to go all in on GameStop again and are buying it. I'm pretty confident if you were to go through and look at every order that's been submitted today and then categorize why was that order submitted, I would bet you.
Biden's top
I wish I could make a real bet here because we can't actually figure that out. But I would bet you that the vast majority of that buy volume coming in is from apes coming in buying because DFV Roaring Kitty tweeted something. Almost certainly. Okay, sure. So there's I didn't say that it's not, that there's not a large amount of short interest. Apparently they like the stock.
Taking a look at the fear and greed index, 53 out of 100 equaling neutral.
How many who bought in between the first two shutdowns do you think were already thrown back out of GameStop on the move down? Who knows?
61%.
I mean, how many of these people are just trying to day trade it as opposed to they bought it and the dime in hands, right? Paul's like, oh, I forgot about that. All right. That's a phrase I haven't heard in a while, is it? Here it's going again. Like seeing the volume. Those numbers changed in the volume is so wild. But like, just so you can't see the book. I really think if you guys could see the book, your impression of what's going on right now would be very different. Okay. We can't see the book, but here's something that we can see. I can see the best bid, best ask. Okay. There is a 10 tick spread between the best bid, best ask. And there's only like 10 shares. There's only like 10 shares at that level. Okay. So this is not that liquid. This is like less liquid than NASDAQ. Well, not less liquid than NASDAQ.
It's unacceptable to be dependent on China in key industries.
Right. It's so you come in and think about that, right? Okay. 10 orders at the best bid, best ask. Oh, okay. Now there's 243. Oh, look, I just got halted again. Okay. And it's only at $30, right? Okay, so you alone, putting in $300 would move it up, move the best offer up. Right? My brother's trying to unwind his, oh, that's smart, I think. I mean, if I was long, I don't know if I would be getting out now. Now would be the safe thing to do, right? I would be very worried about this continuing through, right? Like, I'm already seeing people post like, oh, we're going to go up to 1,000 and all of those sorts of things. I'm not going to say it's outside of the realm of possibilities, but I think that that's unlikely. I personally don't think there's enough money out there to make that happen again. But they could get
Yellen says we
pretty
do not
far.
wish to disengage
They could get pretty
economically
far.
with China.
Wouldn't surprise me to see them up 100% again tomorrow, for instance. That could happen. He wants it to get to 50? Ugh. Well, 50 is not an unreasonable target, I guess.
And Yellen says any steps from China should be targeted and not broad-based.
But like, so the whole thing is before. So let's go back to the first time that this happened. If Robinhood had not come in and like halted buying of GameStop and all of that stuff, if they hadn't come in and like actually manipulated the market and then lied to everybody about what was happening, okay, how far would it have gotten? Because I kind of think it absolutely could have gotten to 1,000. Now, the situation that we have today is not the same. Okay, remember, back then it was over 100% short. Now we're like 20% short. Okay, so kind of more normal levels, but that's still pretty heavily shorted. Okay. I don't think that like the mother of all short covering rally, whatever, that's like in the cards anymore. Okay. But, if this picks up momentum and like more everyday people start coming in and trying to put money into this and everything, there's no telling how far that can go. It just depends on how much money there is that actually ends up buying. They could maybe get further this time because if there's not as much short covering and all that, maybe they wouldn't, we would get further before they have to come in and put a stop to it, right? Granted, if I come back to this chart right here, before y'all get too excited, just remember that this, of course there was the first one, but then there was this and this and this and this and this. And I would add that so far this move has been about the same as this thing, right? So I don't think that I would be going short this name. I just sit on the sidelines and watch it happen on this kind of a thing. You let it die down first, then maybe you go short. And not with just buying puts. Just buy puts. Don't do anything stupid. Or rather, don't do anything that exposes you to unlimited downside. Well, there was another tick down. I still see the cost basis down at 27.5
And
here.
Yellen says tax revenues should be used to lower the deficit.
Yellen is speaking. Oh, tax revenues should be used to lower the deficit, though. So then why aren't you doing that? They're making another attempt to get this going. short the shares and buy calls. Okay. I'm not quite sure I see the point in that. Let's draw that out. So if you are... So here we've got our... Actually, let's draw like this. Okay. So if you are short the shares, then you go like this, right? And then if you have a call, your calls are going to be like this, right? And so that means that you make money on the short, but you're hedged if it goes down too much. Sure. But why not just buy puts, right? Like, yeah, you can do that, but you're going to be paying more for your calls. Why not just buy puts? So I don't see why that makes sense. What I'm concerned about, or the thing that people screw themselves with here, is they go, oh, the volatility is so high, this is going to sputter out. Probably. I'm just telling you, the chances of this still like being above 50 next week are very, very low. Not saying it can't happen, so don't be like, oh, you're wrong. I'm not saying it can't happen, but the chances are pretty low. So what people will do is they will come in and they will sell the options. They will say, okay, I'm going to sell calls. You guys all want calls? Okay, I'll sell them to you. And you make money off of the theta, the theta decline over time as they get closer to expiration and they don't happen. You pocket all of that money from all these people trying to buy. I mean, that's like the easy play. And if you're like a market maker with huge amounts of money and everything, then go for it. But any kind of independent account is not going to be able, because you might have said that on Friday and then come in here and you're getting
says if
your portfolio blown out.
They should be for excess moves.
So it's like it's the most likely trade. It's the easiest trade, but it's actually a very foolish trade because of the risk involved if it doesn't work out.
Right. Crude futures rise by $1 to a
We're talking about something that I think
2 cents a barrel.
Probably 90% chance that will be lower by next week. But in that 10% that we're wrong, that would be the end of your portfolio. So don't take that trade. You could buy puts, but they're going to be pretty expensive, right? Let's go and look at the chain. Okay, so we're at 32 right now. So at the money,
Yellen says intervention should be rare and communicated to others.
$800 per put. For something that, well, maybe it's not actually crazy, because, like, let's just say that I'm betting that we will get back to where we opened today at some point. 325. Maybe buying the puts isn't stupid. Look at the difference in volume, though. That's so crazy. Well, and then 4-day expiration, I don't know about that. But look at the calls. 41,000 at 30. Oh my gosh. What's going on with MPW? What's that? I've never heard of that. MPW. Medical Properties Trust. Seems to be something jumping up today. Oh, I've been slowly, okay, wait. I've been slowly accumulating, and all I ever see is people talking about how much they stock on Twitter, and it's up 43%. Well, that's a pretty big jump today. So, I don't know how applicable this is going to be to you, because I don't know a whole lot about that stock, but can I teach you a lesson about something that I learned? A hard lesson to learn. Sorry, what? I can't even freaking remember the name of this thing now. Oh, right. Okay, rare earth element resources. Okay, it took off in 2021, slowly, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't care. I'm holding it for the long run. Okay, right here. So this jump right here was when it was announced that they got the permit to start building their facility. So they're building a facility. They did that. And then what happened? They did an offering. So what I have learned, and by the way, GameStop did that too, by the way. So what I have learned is when a stock just absolutely takes off like crazy, even if it's like an expected thing, even like in some medical device companies and things like that, right? The company sells shares. They sell shares to raise more money. The executives that were long, expecting that thing to happen, if they get out, is just the whole thing. By the way, they did like a 4-to-1. Did they do like a 4-to-1 split? That's interesting. I bought it at, I guess, 20. But they did a split. So, it used to be less than $1. You think, oh, it's 16, but they split. So. I should probably buy more, but whatever. Well, I purchased it somewhere way back over here. I think it was in 2020, so I think that I bought it somewhere around here. Why did I buy it? Because I wanted to be invested in rare earth metals, and this company is basically like the only one in North America trying to do anything with mining and refining rare earth minerals, and so that's why I bought it. That's all it was. And I do expect, I do want to hold it for the long run, and I do expect that if their thing turns out. So what they're actually doing specifically is they have some scientific theories about alternative ways to process the rare earth minerals, different chemical processes and so forth, that are not so corrosive to the environment, right? So that's why it's all done in China, is because they're the only ones that don't have the environmental protections. So these guys think that they can do it without the environmental impact. And so what they're doing is they're building a test facility. So if that test facility works,
2 UK gilts during July,
and it actually goes into production, this company could be worth like tons and tons and tons. But like, will that ever actually happen? Who knows? It's a high risk thing. They could come in, like they could just not be good enough to execute on it. They could be wrong and their process doesn't work. They could have the government come in and decide, nah, actually, we're not going to let you do that. Like, there's all sorts of things that could go wrong. So, like, it's a high risk reward sort of a thing, right? But I believe that it has to happen, and so that's why I want to own it. But again, the mistake that I made was when it popped off here. Man, when it popped off here, I was up so big on it. It was like a 10 bagger, and I didn't sell it. I was like, I'm supposed to hold this for the long run. It seems to me that even if you're in something that you really want to own for the long run, for the long haul, that when it's a company that's like really, really young in its development, you know, it's still like a small cap and they're still like a small startup sort of a thing. You've got to sell it on those. You sell it on those and buy it later when the hype dies down, because they will offer shares and drown you. That's what happened to me in this. So the loss is not huge. Don't get me wrong, right? It's like $200 or something like that. Yeah, I lost $200 on it. Cool. I actually kind of want to put 500 more into it. So it's probably fine. But, yeah. Well, I guess with as much as I have here, I want to put more money into the portfolio, though, too. I need to go and do all that work. You have other interesting ones? I would say that I have a watch list. You can see I don't own as much stuff as I want to. I've kind of been like holding off on dumping a whole lot into individual stocks yet. But here's my watch list. So another one that I'm really interested in is, okay, so there are a couple of other rare earth stocks. There's Aramco Resources and AARNF. So let's look at METC real quick. METC, Aramco Resources. Okay, so this was the similar thing, right? When we kind of started this list, it was just like taking off and like, look, it's coming off. I bet you that they're selling shares. I bet you. ARRNF. American Rare Earths. Same thing. See, like it just totally popped off to 40 cents from 20 cents, right? And then look, comes back. So when you get pops like that, now GameStop is a different thing, because GameStop is not like some startup, yada, yada. This is like a big drama that's been going on for a long time, right? So I don't know how much that applies to this medical property trust. That's super weird that a property trust would be up like that. I don't know what that's about. That seems weird. Maybe you keep that one. I don't know. But just when you own those small cap stocks and they pop off, you've been accumulating it for nearly 3 years. Okay, well, so one thing that you can do. Wait, well, so what is it? It's a medical property. So is that kind of, should I put those in my boomer list? No, but it's a REIT, but it's a medical REIT. Yeah, so on my watch list here, I've got Welltower and the Ensign Group. And these are REITs that invest specifically in retirement homes. They're hospital landlords. Okay. So the other one that I really believe in is new nuclear companies. So all of these stocks right here are new nuclears. I don't know which one I would get into. There's a lot of them. New Scale is up 24% this year still. So that's kind of crazy, because I thought that stock was left for dead. But that's the other one that I really believe in. Marijuana, I added that on there because somebody on stream wanted me to look at it, but my read on that is I don't really like marijuana stocks. Materials, I think Freeport McMoran. That trade might already be done, but that's another one that I would be in. Like if I had my way, it was in things, I would probably be in one of these. Welltower. Actually, there's nothing really stopping me. I just didn't want to use all my cash. I would probably be in Welltower, one of these new nuclear stocks, and Freeport McMoran. So any of these doing anything interesting the past day? Soundhound is up 8% again. What about evil companies? Warner Brothers Discovery up 3.37% today. No. Wendy's is still down though. I'm a little bitter. You know what? I used to love Wendy's. But since Dave Thomas died, that place has gone downhill. They basically were like, oh, let's take everything that made this company great and successful to begin with and throw it out the door. Screw those guys. Did you hear that Russia and China are planning on building a nuclear power plant on the what? Yeah, uranium. Yeah, I don't know where the uranium market is now, but that's another one that's kind of like maybe you're too late. Actually, it's not too bad. It's not too bad. $6. Maybe that's worth getting into. You know, another one that I'm still kind of watching is Intel. I think that Intel is a good company. I think that they've made a lot of mistakes, and it's not even necessarily their fault. Like, okay, graphics card has become the big thing. They've never been really good at graphics card. They're working on it. They've done some things that are encouraging. Okay, so could in the future Intel, you know, be in on the AI and, you know, graphics processing sort of thing? Yeah. And you're getting a good price for it. So I might get into Intel. I should add another $500 to the portfolio and then buy 3 things. FCX, I think it's maybe over. Yeah, I don't know about that one. It's kind of that looks a little rich to me, but how else would you power the infrastructure to mine and harvest helium-3? Oh. So I've been completely different, like to make a completely different segue, but I've had this, like one of my fidget toys I've got over here is like one of these things for your forearm, you know, to work on your forearm. And I can feel, and I have tiny wrists, you know, but like right there, I can feel the difference. It's so huge. It's so weird. You watched any interviews with the CEO, Peter Brown? I haven't seen anything from him. I was super devastated. You know, it's funny that I forgot, but I mean, it happened on like Friday, so. But Jim Simons. Sorry, I always want to say Simmons, but there's not 2 M's. There's only 1 M. It's Simons. Jim Simons dying is like devastating, man. I was shocked. You know, I thought, oh, he's in his 70s, he's got plenty of time left, but you know, he was a smoker. He was a smoker. So if anybody needed some motivation to quit smoking, stole 20 years from us with that guy. You know, and that's one of those ones where, because everybody makes out like these hedge fund guys to be like, there's a real attempt to try and villainize anybody that's involved in capital right now. I honestly think that TikTok intentionally pushes communist propaganda. Like everything that I see on TikTok, and it's like it's so blatantly obvious. And maybe it's just my algorithm, but the way that my algorithm works is just so obvious. Everything that it shows me is like trying to make me feel unhappy about the US economy. And they're totally pushing it, right? And so, you know, anybody that owns a lot of money or whatever, owns a lot. They're trying to make him out to be these awful people, but Jim Simons was a great guy from everything that I've heard. Everybody loved him. He was a very kind person, and he put a lot of money into research and good causes and things like that. So I really do think that it's a sad thing that we lost him that early. So yeah, if you smoke, nope, I don't drink alcohol whatsoever. You hear about Peter Brown's work ethic. He used to do 16-hour shifts, easy, sleeping in the office. Sounds overwhelmed, but it shows, yeah. You know what I hear when I see that is he's probably autistic. Dude, I was watching this documentary by Veritasium. Oh, that's a good channel. Veritasium still makes good content. And he was telling the story of how the blue LED was invented. That basically there was this guy, he wanted to make a blue LED. The heads of the company didn't really think that it was going to work. So, but he like went and did it anyways. And then they kicked him out of the company, and he went somewhere else and made it somewhere else, and is just like made so much effing money from it. Yeah, it was a good deal. I'm sorry, it was a good story. It was a good story. But the whole time I'm thinking about this, and I'm like, oh, he's autistic. Yeah. Guys, like somebody coming in and working 16-hour day, that's not normal. That's not normal. Somebody like literally putting everything into their work at the detriment of everything else is not normal. They're probably autistic. And when you watch the parts where they're interviewing the actual guy, because he's still alive today, right? Interviewing the actual guy and seeing like his answers and everything, 100% he's autistic. It's so crazy. I don't know if it's just because my son's autistic, and so I've learned a lot about this, and so it's kind of like a selection bias sort of a thing where now that you're aware of it, you see it everywhere. But I see evidence all over the place of people that were quite successful that were mildly autistic. I have a theory. So here's my theory. My theory is that people who actively comment online are more likely to be autistic. Okay? Like in the general population, it's maybe like 5% of people that are mildly autistic or worse. And I think that online it could be as high as 30%. 30% of the commenters are autistic or ADHD. It's just that it like drives people to want to post. Like you get that kind of chemical rise from it, especially when you're arguing. And so autistic people are more likely to comment. And I think that it's a major factor behind like why the internet commentary and everything has kind of gone the way that it was. Or it has. Like in real life, people can immediately see like they can just kind of tell from the body language and stuff that something's off, and people will naturally reject it. And so autistic people in real life don't do very well. But and the internet, you don't have that. And so instead, you're just interacting with somebody that seems to be very articulate and has a lot to say on the internet. You don't realize that like all of their opinions and everything are coming from
10 minutes time
place
now
of somebody
at the
that's
top
autistic.
of the hour. We expect the release of
And I
the
think
New York Fed
so. That's the
inflation
theory.
expectations.
And so if the theory is true, then I think that you could explain a couple of other cultural phenomenons that are going on right now. Like this whole thing with the woke left, a lot of that screams autistic thinking to me. I think that autistic thinkers are like very prone to being taken advantage of and being recruited into highly ideological movements because they're kind of more complicated executive functioning thinking is flawed. It just doesn't work very well. And so these sorts of ideas that like well, they're not a girl, but they are a girl, or I don't think that, because those things logically they don't make sense, but they do to your frontal brain, they can make sense. Sounds isolated to America. Well, it's probably happening in Europe too. Another thing, so the thing that kind of got me going on this was I was reading the StarCraft subreddit or the real-time strategy subreddit, and for some reason there's a bunch of companies trying to make real-time strategy games right now. It's like 2 companies broke off from StarCraft 2 and are trying to make successors to that, and then there's another company that just kind of popped up out of nowhere that's making one, and then or there's a couple of other like smaller projects, and last week there was a new guy that they didn't come from the Blizzard side of things, but I guess they were involved in real-time strategy games in the past. They want to make one, and he was like, well, you can't really make a real-time strategy game popular without ruining it and turning it into a game that I wouldn't want to play anymore, so we're okay with making a game that is very, very niche, right? And so people were arguing about that in the thread, and everybody was talking about, well, the real problem is how high of an APM you need. Like they want to make it easier, that like less control of the unit, more focus on the macro, and which tech tree do you go down to outsmart your opponents, yada yada yada, sort of thing, right? And that's what Reddit thinks will make a game more popular, and I think it's completely dead wrong. I think that if you go and you take a game that is like only focuses on the strategy components of a game, you get Civilization. It's a turn-based strategy game. That's what that is. So when you focus only on the strategy. If you take it the other side and you focus only on the micro and the tactics side of things, the most pure form of that is League of Legends. Okay, so which of those 2 games do you think is more popular among the public, especially in multiplayer? Yeah, they're both pretty popular games, but League of Legends just dominates. Just absolutely dominates, right? It's because that strategic thinking, like that autistic brain that's focused more on logic and slower processing systems, they really love that. But they don't like the fast part of the game. They don't like the real-time part of the game, because it means thinking quick, thinking on your feet, recognizing patterns, and just kind of like recognizing it and seeing it in the moment and not having to think about it, just being able to act on instinct. And they can't do that. So they're autistic. That's what the autistic brain struggles with, essentially. So they want to get rid of that part. But most people rely on that part of their brain more. The people that are like social and those sorts of, they're acting on instinct. They're using the executive frontal cortex.
The U.S. economy is chugging along
to do all of that, and so there's a wider audience for that, I think. Oh, I don't play chess. I've never tried to learn to play chess. To me, so I'm kind of a little bit different. I know it's weird to say something like I'm different, but like you go through life and you meet other people that are in similar circumstances, and you can see how your circumstances are different from other people. I actually am
top of the hour. Expect the release
somewhat rare.
Inflation.
Why is that? I'm somewhat rare because I do have fairly significant ADHD, but they caught it extremely early in me, and I was highly medicated, and I have developed extremely effective systems for dealing with it. And so I've had a lot of success where most of my fellow ADHD people have not. And I would say that when I'm on my medication, that I don't have ADHD symptoms at all. And the other side of it is that, like the medication kind of makes you too driven. it just makes you like single-minded, and you just like no empathy, and you're just the killer. You're just the killer is the way that I think of it. And yeah, I do that, and I can just be ruthlessly efficient sometimes. Right? So I enjoy the high executive functioning tasks. I want to work to, deal with the deficits as much as possible, like by writing things down and just taking excessive notes everywhere and so forth, so that, I can focus on those, I can put more effort into developing those things, because now it's like the brain can do it, and it's just, maybe it's not necessarily good at it, but I want to get better at it, and I find those things enjoyable, right? And so in games, those kinds of factors really, really appeal to me, right? And I've just discovered from looking at games, there's a wider audience that's like that than there is like this big brain audience that wants everything to be super cerebral and stuff, right? So that's my theory. My theory is that online commenters are more likely to be autistic, and that it is having significant cultural impacts on the internet. Your thoughts on Western women feminism and current dating culture in America? Sure. Well, we don't have a whole lot of time. But I went into this the other day, and it's like a personal vendetta of mine, and I kind of want to get this out there as much as I can. Okay. There's a lot of problems with modern feminism. I don't know if I really need to go into that, because I think that everybody has opinions on that. But like, here's the thing. The key driver, like, why did this even become a thing? There is a problem at the root here that is absolutely a problem, and that they're right about. So it's just like with so many other things that are kind of like left-leaning movements, they actually have a really good point. It's just all of their solutions to try and solve that problem are usually stupid. Okay, so what is the problem? The problem is, if you are a woman and you get married and you have kids and you focus 100% on taking care of the kids, and then after all of the kids are out of school, your husband divorces you, you're screwed. That's the problem. That's the problem, guys, is that women are completely at the mercy of their husbands for their living. And so what did women say? Well, I mean, there's this whole thing about alimony and child support to try and help deal with that particular thing, but that wasn't good enough. What have women done? They've decided, I need to have a career too. I need to be able to support myself, so that if my husband does decide to divorce me, I still make my own money, and it's not as big of a problem. Okay. So if that's the problem, how do you solve that?
So we shortly
is this an acceptable solution that women just need to be bosses too? Well, I don't think that it is, because I don't think that that's turned out very well. When you look at the talk, like, less people are getting into relationships, less people are having children, people are not as happy as they were before. It's not working well. So the real problem is, why is it that unless you give 100% fealty to the corporate overlords, they don't want you, right? It's like there's this little path, and if you deviate from the path whatsoever, you're less desirable. It's like, first you have to be, get A in every class in high school, okay? And then you have to go to an Ivy League school, and then you need to get hired directly out of school by a really prestigious company like Goldman Sachs or whatever.
So for the New York Fed, the April year ahead.
And if you didn't go through that pipeline, they don't want you. Like to become a trader,
Marches 3%.
To do professional trading at like a Goldman or a JP Morgan or something, you really have to be like
5 year ahead inflation expectations.
Go to the right schools and do all of the right things and stuff, and you don't make it in. Okay, so like, if you're a woman, you went to college, you did all of this stuff, but then you didn't get hired right out of school, and you instead started having children, then by the time that the children are all in school, Like they're all over the age of 5, and so now you can work during the day again. They don't want you.
Food, rent,
They say you don't have the
gas.
experience.
So again, expect
There's too big of a resume gap. That's a 5-year resume gap. We can't hire you with that. It's bullshit.
In this new
That's the real
report as well,
problem.
the year ahead.
The real
expected
problem
home
is
prices
that
are
this
rising
this
to the
standard
highest
that they
level
put on
since July
people.
of 2022.
You know, we only want this, and I mean it kind of is a problem because like you can get so many applicants to a job. How do you filter them? So you filter them based on those properties, right? But the end result is that unless you've like dedicated your life to serving the corporate overlord masters, you're an undesirable and they don't want to hire you. Just talk to somebody that has like a 1 or 2 year gap on their resume. How hard it is. It's ridiculous. A woman should be able to take 5 years off and then come back and get into the workplace. But why not? They're totally capable of doing it. It's BS. So that's what I think about that. That's what I think about that. I think that feminism had a point. There is a problem. I think that their solutions to that problem have kind of turned out to be not so good. And this is kind of my perspective on it. Is here's how I would solve it: is provide more opportunity for them to get into the workplace after they've had a resume gap. Problem solved. And then women can go and do, which most women do want to stay home and take care of their kids, right? They can do that. And then if something does happen, like they get divorced or their husband dies,
Block cell.
they can still join the workforce and be just fine. That's not the case right now.
So again, inflation outlooks are rising.
Well, I tell you what,
by expected increases in
this started with a pretty good trend up.
Survey.
It seemed like it was like a really wild uptrend, but when you look at the range of the day, it's actually not that much. And now we are absolutely just crashing on the downside. So I don't know what's with that, but it's time for me to get going, guys. So I will see you tomorrow, and don't miss Wednesday's CPI. In the meantime, stay excellent, team.